Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone Studios as the Tennessee Titans get ready to host the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday at Nissan Stadium. Titans at 5-9, already out of playoff contention, hosting the Seahawks, who will be on a short week following last night's dramatic win on Monday Night Football over the Philadelphia Eagles. The big question for the Titans this week, the health of rookie quarterback Will Levis, who left Sunday's game with an ankle injury, reported as a sprained ankle by Ian Rappaport on Monday. Mike Vrabel talked about it yesterday with Titans media.
During a game. So it's Monday right now. He's sore, obviously, like a lot of guys. And we'll see, how things go.
Tonight, the Nashville Predators look to extend the win streak to 4 as they host the Vancouver Canucks at Bridgestone Arena. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once and your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Let's go, Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Happy Tuesday to you. Man, it's less than a week until Christmas. We were talking about this. You got your shopping done? Lucas Panzica was like, he was asking it very confidently, like his shopping was all done. Blaine's shopping is all done.
Oh, yeah. I'm on top of that. I shop year round. Now, you got to shop when the sales are going on.
When it presents itself, you just buy and hide it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Or
got
you
you.
just put it in your trunk.
I've been much better at that over the years. Your car has 2 trunks, though. Mine has none. I have a hard time hiding stuff in the car.
Nobody ever checks my front trunk
Yeah.
or my Tesla. I forget sometimes what's in there. I'm like, oh, dang, I've been looking for this. Keep a change of clothes in there, too, just in case.
Are you kidding me? You got 9 changes of clothes in there. If it was 100 degrees today, you'd go put on something out of your trunk. If it dropped to 100 below, you would have a parka to put on in your trunk. I've seen it in action.
Blaine will open his front trunk, and it'll just be a Christmas every day because it's a surprise every time he opens it.
Our man Joey Bananas has some access to Cracker Barrel as well. Does everybody in your family get something Cracker Barrel themed?
No.
No. Yes.
What?
No.
I could shop
You don't get any free merch?
I did. So they do give us us employees a $100 gift card depending on your par level, which that's the stars that you see on the
$100 gift card back to Cracker Barrel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I like it fine.
I hope my grandma's not listening because that's what she's getting from me.
You just passed that one right on through.
She said she never listens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's getting that $100 to Cracker Barrel because her and my grandpa will enjoy that.
Let me tell you something. If I had any grandparents living and you handed those rascals $100 worth of Cracker Barrel, you would have made their year.
The thing is, okay, so I'm going to have to figure out how to finagle it because it expires at the end of January. So on January 31st, it's got an expiration date on it. And I'm like, why would you give it
Of the end of January.
Yeah, so so what I think I'm going to do.
better eat
That's
up.
good. No, that's great marketing because some people will forget about it.
100%.
It
That's
sits in their wallet,
genius.
and guess what? They really got free gift card. They
like-
got a free. They got free money.
Yep.
Yeah, so I gotta.
No, you got to invite her to come.
100%.
Yeah.
You can eat up,
the gift
Nana.
card.
Hey, here, whatever
On
you
your
want.
off day.
Order whatever you want on the menu. It's on me.
Either side of the menu.
Either.
Do they get to buy any of the stuff in there, too? Like,
Yeah,
can she
yeah,
buy a
so
fuzzy vest or a Christmas light or a soda that wasn't made since the 60s?
The gift card is for everything, for the restaurant, for the store. You
Okay.
can
I love the candy
buy
I always
everything.
have in there because it's like back in the old school days, 80s candy. It's like in the wrappers and everything. Yeah.
I get
Bananas
lost
and be
in
like,
it.
man, I never even heard of this candy, man. It'd be nice of it.
Yeah, I do go shop at
What-
the candy aisle.
Tell everybody what location you're at, and what times you're usually there.
Old Fort over in Murfreesboro off Old Fort Parkway. I'm there usually all day Saturdays, Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and Wednesday nights.
Oh.
Joey
I'll
Bananas.
be there tonight.
Hard-working guy,
visit
man.
me.
Today's Tuesday night. Oh man, yeah, he's always working hard. That's why when I text him like at 5 a.m., he never answers.
No, he's sleeping off a night of
He
cooking.
still sleep.
100%.
Yeah, because you're the big time chef there. You're the one thing make everything go there, right?
Yeah, I am a chef. I cook.
Are there any hacks, though? Like, a lot of restaurants have hacks where you
He's
can.
like,
There's
"No,
a
I'm not
secret
telling
menu
you
or
any of the
something.
hacks.
Is there a secret menu at Cracker Barrel where you can order it like animal style
I think
or
I
something?
saw a robot being the chef back there too. By the way, I saw one.
I mean, it depends how PO'd you want to make the cooks back there.
The chef or cooks.
Yeah, we're not chefs. We're cooks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to make you like you were over all the cooks.
I know that sounded nice.
I know.
I appreciate that. It makes me feel better about it.
You're bananas.
I've been there forever.
Chef Bananas.
Oh, really? You've been working there since you were in high school?
Since I was 16.
Oh.
I mean, that's like 5
That's
years.
how you get to become chef.
It outlast everybody. Are you going to share with us the hack? Like, can you order it, scattered, smothered, covered, chunked?
I mean, it's pretty straight up.
Okay.
There's really nothing.
Oh, man. I was hoping there was some secret handshake menu that you could tell Blaine and me about.
Is there some
I mean,
secret, like if you
tens
on
of people who are
Thanksgiving
joining
that you can, sign up, not just on the website, to like if you want to come in and get on the
You want to order
VIP list or
you
something?
want to order your Thanksgiving meal? You better do that a couple months in advance.
Months?
Oh man, at least 2 months in advance.
This is so true because I waited to the last ding dong minute, and because something got canceled, and I was like, okay, well we'll just go up the street here.
Yeah.
2-hour wait.
So Cracker Barrel. So you can go in and eat like Thanksgiving meal like in Cracker Barrel. You can sit down like a normal restaurant.
Yeah.
Because it's a limited menu, so it's like just
nice.
Thanksgiving. and
This is what we got. Take it or leave it. Yeah.
But you can also order like catering and like take home stuff where you get these big cardboard boxes with
That's what I did. I'm sorry. That's what I did.
With like a
I did
turkey
that.
and pans of sides and bread and and they give you like the spoons and silverware and stuff like the serving stuff. So you can either go in and wait a couple hours in the restaurant, or you can go wait a couple hours in your car in a giant line that wraps around the building 3 or 4 times and pick that up. But if you want to do the catering where you're taking it home with you, you better order a couple months in advance.
Yeah, because I wait. That's what I did. I ordered to go, and I literally waited for 2 hours. But they told me be ready in like 45 minutes.
Okay.
So I was on time.
Yes.
And then I sit there, and I sit there, and then I sit there. And then I say, ma'am, what's going on? She said, just keep sitting there. No, that's not what happened. They got, overwhelmed and naturally a lot of people. But, once you start seeing people leave that you kind of got there at the same time.
Right. You'd gotten to know in those couple hours.
Hey, man, I know everything about your family now. It's time to eat.
And honestly made me surprised the amount of people that don't cook for themselves on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
they
was canceled.
Yeah, it shocked me. My first
stunned.
Thanksgiving.
I was stunned too. I thought we could go, hour. Oh, okay, that's nothing. Oh, okay, and we'll just put our name in and we'll come back. Nope, came back and it became another hour. I was like, I think I'm debating on going somewhere else. Then that's when I started learning about other places you could order from for Thanksgiving. I didn't know.
You plotted out next year's Thanksgiving in that line.
Just in case.
Okay.
You just always got to keep it in your back pocket because that's what happens, Sometimes the wifey messes up.
Well,
nobody else's wife messes up but mine. That's why, I make sure I keep my pillow in my car, too.
Well, Cracker Barrel, they got you right where they want you. I'll say this, guys. Maybe the Titans have the Seahawks right where they want them because they're coming off an emotional win on Monday night. Remember what happened here?
Pro on the segue.
Remember what happened? They were coming off
the Dolphins.
Emotional win over the Dolphins, and they come here and poo the bed against the Texans. Maybe those same Seahawks will poo the bed here.
Are the Titans going to be like like the Texans and start a backup quarterback?
Well, that's going to be a topic of discussion we need to roll into on this program.
Well, Tannehill's a backup, so you can say Tannehill or Malik Willis is a backup. Yeah, I don't think Levis is playing. I mean, if I was guessing, I don't think so. High ankle sprain?
Yeah. Our man Banana said yesterday, last time this happened, and Vrabel did say it was like Tannehill's injury. The first one. Well, the first one knocked him out for 2 games. And they only got 3 left.
You guys want a poll update? Because we did put a poll about this out.
I dropped it last night like it was hot because I thought we need this sucker cooked up like Blaine's Thanksgiving dinner when we get on the show today.
At Blaine and Mickey on Twitter. If Will Levis misses time with an ankle injury, who should the Titans start at quarterback? Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis. The winner so far with 5 hours left, 54% Ryan Tannehill, 46% Malik Willis. Jay in the comments said Derrick Henry should run Wildcat all game long.
I wouldn't even have a problem with that. I mean, why not at this point?
If you're Tannehill, though, and Blaine, I guess this is more of a question for you from the player.
Quit doing that. Don't be falling for that trap everybody will be doing.
Well, I'm saying, just
because I play. You guys have opinions, too.
Does he have the option to say, no, I'm good?
And that's where I laugh. When I hear people say, well, Tannehill won't play because his agent will be like, hey, man, you're going to get me hurt for the next year. I'm going to say this again. Every player is a commodity. You do as you're told. You cannot dictate if you're going to play or not.
That's
think
what I-
about that.
that's what I figured,
It's
yeah.
like tell your boss, nah, I'm not going to work
I'm
the
good.
board today. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to go in studio and I'm going to talk today. That's what that's like.
We'd have some
They
issues
tell
with that
you
happening.
what to do.
Yeah.
It never happens that way. So when I see people talking about, Tannehill's agent, I'm like, what? Man, are you crazy? They are paying this guy $30 million to sit on the bench. Are you kidding me? I think it's going to be Tannehill because I think Vrabel still believes in winning. But I think a strategic decision by the owner should say, we're going to play Malik Willis because guess what? We all been talking about it. And I said, this is the only way you can tank is you play your backups. And now the good thing out of it, you can see if he can develop, and then maybe he can become trade bait on trade day on a draft. If he doesn't play well, now you actually know that he can never be your backup. So you win either way. You know Tannehill can play, and guess what? Tannehill will be the backup, and if he gets hurt, then Malik Willis gets hurt, then you put him out there. But I'm sure Tannehill will be the starter because Vrabel's going to believe that he can win. He think he's going to put the best available player, and he controls who plays or not. Only the owner can come down and say, hey, don't do that. And I don't know if Amy will do that.
So you're saying that Willis would be a better option to play in terms of the future of the team, whereas Tannehill, in Vrabel's eyes, would
Future
be,
of what?
the future, like of just whatever you can do with him, whether he's
Right,
a serviceable
yes.
backup
Uh-huh.
or available for a trade.
or
be
bye-bye,
trade.
yeah.
Whereas-
Or
whereas-
get cut. Yeah.
Whereas Tannehill is a let's win these last 3 games and
Yes.
that's it.
If you're in the playoff hunt, he's the guy. No, there's no question. Tannehill got fresh legs right now. I saw him jogging onto the field. I was like, whoa, he looked like he ready to go. Will Levis was jogging a lot slower going into the game. So he got a lot of juice in his legs, and it was a grave difference. So I bet Tannehill plays, but I don't think Vrabel could just stomach Malik Willis out there. I just don't think he could do it. But we shall see. That it's funny. I had this conversation with someone, and I said, but I don't think that's happened. I said, but that's what I would strategically do. Because first of all, you got to think about it from Vrabel's side. Who's actually the ultimate decision maker, unless the owner tells him what to do, which I think most times not. Is especially when you're talking about football stuff. Where you could telling somebody who to start. Vrabel wants to win. So Tannehill, I would assume, is going to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because this goes on Vrabel's record, his overall record. Think about yourself. You don't want to have your record being even or losing when you're, probably one of the top 10 coaches in the NFL. You already had a sucky season. You're not making the playoffs.
I think he's down to 10 games above 500 in his career. And at one point, he was blasting above that.
Yeah. See,
But these last 2 years,
he's got him. I mean, what would you do, Mickey? What do you think?
let's do it on the other side. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I do on the other side. We want to hear from you guys, too. Well, it's our business. 615-737-1045. What would you do? Because it is being reported, Jeremy Fowler, that Will Levis has a high ankle sprain. That's not typically something that you play immediately on. We saw what happened with Ryan Tannehill. He played on it till he needed surgery. Do you let him heal? And if so, who do you play? Do you go with Malik Willis to see what you got, or do you try to win those 3 games with Tannehill? Want to hear from you. 615-737-1045, or you can drop something in the FNM Bank chat. Tweet us at Blaine and Mickey. You can jump on there. However you're doing it, just do it. Let's hear from you. Blaine and Mickey 1045 The Zone. Happy Tuesday to you. Appreciate everybody listening, watching on Zone TV today. You can watch, hang out with us there every day, make comments in the F&M Bank chat. You can download the Zone app by searching 1045 The Zone in the App Store, and then you just take the Zone with you everywhere you go. Like you see Blaine with his phone in his pocket and his headphones in. He's got the app. He just listens to everything on the app.
Oh, man, everywhere. Yep, right there. In the car, everywhere. You're supposed to be telling us who starting the quarterback.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people commenting about this, too, about what they would do in the F&M Bank chat. Keep the comments coming. I would want to see what I have in Malik Willis. I would want to see what I have in him because I heard Teresa Walker say this to Buck and Lucas earlier. They were talking about roster turnover, and she said they're easily going to have 25 new people on the team. Then she corrected herself and said they could have 30 new people on the team next year. I mean, Coach Mack, to quote him, he always says every day is an audition, and I get that. But this next 3 weeks is a heck of an audition for a bunch of dudes, and I would be auditioning like Caleb Murphy. I'd put dudes out there I hadn't seen very much of. I'd be like, hey, here, we're not going to make the playoffs. The whole thing that I do the rest of this year needs to be about how can I make next year better and then the next year better than that.
Evaluation.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You could start your offseason this week.
Off-season
not necessarily the offseason, but in terms of evaluating
You
what,
start
what
next
you have,
season this week.
right, you can start this week by putting guys out there who maybe haven't had a lot of playing time, that you don't know what you necessarily have in them.
Mm-hmm.
See if, maybe some guys that are under multi-year contracts, if they're not going to be useful on this team, if you need to let them go, if you need to dump them off, get rid of them, whatever, starts this week.
What a good comparison is college coaches playing freshmen. Really hard, isn't it? It's hard. In the pros, hard to play a guy that's been on a practice squad that you really hadn't seen playing a game, or a backup that hadn't had a lot of playing time. It is hard for coaches. It's innate in them. They can't help it. So as much as we're sitting back here saying, and I agree with both of you guys, I'm interested to see how much that happens.
I brought up a scenario to you in the break because you said, okay, what do you think? Because you said, I think Vrabel wants to win. You've been up front with this whole time. I think he'll play Tannehill because Tannehill can win games for him and has won a bunch of games before.
That's so key to him and Henry going off on a good note.
Yes.
Whether they win, lose, or draw, a lot of fans would be happy they saw him.
And I thought, well, I wonder if they'd say, let's start Tannehill for a couple of weeks, then let's give Malik that final week, which that game will not matter for any shape, form, or fashion, but they will want to win the game.
Oh, it's against Jags, too. Right?
Yep.
So I know, I think, I don't remember which one of you brought it up before we went to break, but that Vrabel is, trying to play for his record because he doesn't want his record to get any worse. If everything is what we've heard about, from some people about his seat being as cool as it could possibly be right now, what does he have to lose? Because if his job is truly safe.
Have we heard someone say his job is safe?
I've just
reporters.
I've seen some reporters very heavily stand on that side of the argument.
Right.
That
Well,
his
Sam
job,
Phelan said it yesterday on our show.
So if his job is truly that safe, what does he have to lose other than another bad season?
I'm going to just ask you guys this, and I believe that they believe that. But we know how quickly that turns in 1 week, right?
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, do we
that,
understand that?
I mean, it happened with a couple years ago.
It just happened with JR.
Yeah.
The GM. After they gave him an extension 6 months before that.
Steve Lamb says, come on, Mickey. Love you, but we've seen what we have in Malik. It's not good.
But see, I say play Malik. That's why I'm agree with you. I know they won't. That's your form of tanking. And guess what? It's not about what we think he can be because this winning or losing doesn't matter. If Vrabel's job is, as they say, cool, I don't think as a coach you ever think your job is cool. It's always hot. And if you don't think that way, that's like a player thinking, hey, man, I got to make the team every year. If not, then you start resting on your laurels. The coaches are no different. So, I want to see what we got. Malik, yeah, I want to see.
How much?
That's your form of tanking.
How much say does Rand Carthon, if at all, does he have in any of this?
No idea. So the same person I was having this conversation with yesterday, they said the same thing. I said, I have no idea. Remember the word collaboration? I mean, Vrabel has full autonomy on his players. I would assume that for sure. For sure. There is no doubt he controls who dresses on game day, who plays. Only one person, the owner, can tell him what to do about the players. And most owners stay out of that because they should. Maybe sometimes it's the quarterback. And not no third-string quarterback.
Well, what you're saying, too, is, and you've made a point to say this before, Blaine, players don't just not play hard. Coaches don't just coach less hard. That's not how tanking happens. Tanking happens based on who you put on the field.
Yes.
And so the other part of the Willis equation is, too, is that's how you assure you would get to where you want to go, more than likely,
right,
with your draft position. Because they're 9 now, despite what happened this weekend. It didn't even change their status.
9. I don't like 9. I want to be higher. I want to be 6. And so, yeah, maybe he plays, since they always play horrible in the second half on offense, just put Malik Willis in there. It won't get any worse.
Well, I would ask you, what we had this discussion with Buck. You can never say it won't get worse because it seems to be getting worse.
Because we said
the left tackle position got worse, and
yes,
the scoring got worse, and everything's gotten worse.
Yeah. Just like you never say you're not going to trade somebody. Like I said, you never say that. A.J. Brown.
Well, I've learned in sports, you just never say never.
Never.
Because anything can happen
Very
in
true.
sports. That's what makes it the greatest reality thing that exists, because it's literally something real that happens and things. Look at the game last night. Again, nobody would have the Seahawks with a backup quarterback beating the Eagles, coming off what they'd lost 2 in a row or 3 in a 2 in a row.
This makes 3 now.
Yeah. And they rolling. And the Seahawks, I think, had lost 3 in a row coming into the game. And they beat them.
Drew Lock.
That's
your guy.
He was. I don't know about that, but he was efficient last night, and dudes made plays for him.
They did.
Oh, DK on that last drive where he drove down and threw the touchdown, made a couple pretty good catches.
He caught one that I still don't know if he knows how he caught it.
Is it
the
the
ball
one
just stuck to him?
Where
And your guy caught the winning touchdown from Ohio State.
JSN.
Oh yeah,
He caught the back of the ball.
the back of the ball, like behind the
It was
laces.
incredible. Nobody
the
questioned
dead
his
run.
hands, but he outran the dude, Bradbury. I guarantee in Philadelphia right now, they are talking about cutting him. Get him out of here. I promise you. I guarantee.
Well, you also know how Philly can be.
Oh, I definitely know.
How overreaction they can get after 1 week. Yeah.
Somebody played there. He
Yeah.
knows.
That's what I'm saying. He
2
knows.
news conferences a day. I
man.
still can't understand that.
That was absolutely, and we went 13-3. What is wrong with y'all, man? I'm not even talking about the fan. I'm talking about the media too.
All right. Steve is still talking to me in the chat. He said, I think playing Malik would likely be bad for him and for the Titans. If he's still bad, we lose any trade value, and it makes it really hard for him to get another job. Steve, come on now. You know nobody down there cares about that.
What?
Yeah, that's
You
what I
can't
was
think
just
like
about to
that,
say.
Steve.
Yeah,
You can't think like nobody cares about that.
Also, I bet you for Malik, he would love that opportunity.
Oh,
You kidding me?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That dude is-
love that opportunity.
He's been just sitting in his locker, just waiting for an opportunity all year.
but
And-
probably won't happen.
Can his trade value get any worse than it is already now?
He has zero trade value
I was gonna
now.
say, it's
Oh, good
none.
point,
So
Bernard.
putting him out on the field helps him because it shows him, all right, if you go out there and you play decent and you show another team, maybe they'll want you. Maybe the Titans will want you.
He has zero trade value. If it increased to 1%, that's 1% more. He has zero trade value to anybody.
I mean, he has nowhere to go but up right now.
And I just don't know if they're going to do it. That's what we need to ask. What are the odds we see Malik Willis in these last 3 games?
In any of the last 3 games.
Without somebody getting hurt.
Yeah, without Tannehill
I'm
getting
going to say
hurt.
less than 10%, just based on who Mike Vrabel is.
Yeah.
Everything that
It's tough
Vrabel
when
has
you sit
shown
in
us, everything Vrabel has shown us is that Tannehill will be the quarterback if Will Levis can't go. Now, here would be my question for you and for anybody else. I'll ask both of you guys this. Because there's how much are you hurt? Can you make it worse? I know there's all the degrees of, well, you can't make this any worse.
You talking about Will Levis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you've talked about this before, like, can you tolerate the pain? Because if you can't hurt this any worse than what it's hurt, that kind of thing. Some injuries, it's a pain tolerance thing, and others are like, Mike Vrabel talked about Levis, I think even after the game, we'll have to see how he's going to do. We'll have to see if he can protect himself. Like, if he can't run away from anybody, then he never needs to be out there. But if he's what level would you say of him is enough to say, no, keep playing? Like Samari Rowe told you, hey, man, I'm 80%. I can't go cover the fastest receiver on the other team.
I think what you're getting confused here is the actual injury. Mm-hmm. The injury tells you that he doesn't play.
Yeah.
How many people have used the high ankle sprain is something serious. I've had it.
Yeah.
I limped an entire season. So he can't protect himself in my mind. Not with that offensive line. This is a no-brainer to me. He probably could get efficient enough maybe to play the last game if I was guessing. Mm. But then why? So I think this is not a pain tolerance type injury. This is I'm immobile.
So no go.
Right.
Okay.
He could get back there and act like he got a club foot and back. When I say that, I'm talking about they'll tape it up. It'll be stiff. Mm-hmm. He won't have a lot of mobility in the ankle, and then he'll try to manage through it. They got what they call this. I forgot what it's called. This kind of tape that is like it can make it feel like it's a cast.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Toradol.
No, it'll feel like a cast, so it can And I just don't think he could do it.
Not behind this O-line.
Nah.
Okay. Where you have to run out of somebody's way on every play.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say about it. We had this exact same scenario last year. Ryan Tannehill, and it meant more last year because they were in a playoff race. Ryan Tannehill, high ankle sprain, goes out for 2 games. He comes back earlier than he really needs to be behind a better offensive line than we have this year, based on the stats. Horrible. A better offensive line than we had this year, and he still could not. He was not mobile. He got beat up back there, and what happened? He was done for the season. You do that for Tannehill with 3 weeks, or with Levis with 3 weeks left, and you hurt his chances at getting going in the offseason and having to push his timeline back.
Well, the last thing I want for him at this point is surgery.
Yeah.
I want it to just be able to heal without being.
And there's still a possibility. I don't even know any extent of his injury, but I'm just saying it could still be a possibility of surgery because that's what they do now for high ankle injuries. And they do the surgery and you come back like nothing ever happened. So, but you never want surgery. But sometimes those things linger for a long time and it just never gets quite 100% where you think it's going to be.
And just fix it and move on.
Right. So that's what I'm getting at. And not to say I know anything because I don't. All I know is a high ankle sprain like they reported. But, I just think this is useless. We may not know if he's a franchise quarterback, but guess what? We know he has a lot of upside, and he could be a really good quarterback. That is pretty clear, without question. I wouldn't risk it all. And, by the way, I'm paying Tannehill $30 million to sit on the bench. How about you take some of these blows here for the next 3 weeks? And, Yep, we got to get our, watch this, money's worth. Mm-hmm. Reason why I say that's kind of the perspective. Remember Marcus Mariota was injured and then Tannehill took the starting job? Mm-hmm. Well, all of a sudden, did we start seeing Tannehill with these trick plays and coming in? They're like, we paying the dude $20 million. We tagged him.
Oh, Marcus?
Yeah. Put him out there. And they did. They did.
No, I remember.
And it'd be like one play. One time, it looked like his shoes wouldn't even tie.
Like even he was like, I ain't getting the ball, man. I'm just standing out here. I'm gonna tie my shoe for
So, hey, man, people, this is a business, man. It's almost like, you are a robot. Get out there.
Let's get some of these phone calls. Tristan in Nashville up first this hour. Hey, Tristan.
Yes, I was wondering, where would you draft? What position would you draft? Because I would draft wide receiver first, or tight end, or
you just
and draft a quarterback. And the offensive line, Jalen Duncan has done pretty well, and Peter Skoronski has done well. And those are areas that I like going into the off season.
Well, you mentioned drafting a quarterback. There's no way on God's earth I would use any
the first
draft picks. No, I think he just meant during the draft.
Oh.
No, like you said about Levis. They don't know if he's a franchise guy, but he's the guy next year.
Uh-huh.
Hey.
It's pretty clear he's going to be a real good quarterback. Now, can he be franchise level? That's yet to be determined. But we're on the right track. And if you get the right pieces around him on the offensive line, I think we will then see that he's a franchise quarterback. I believe that watching him. As I said before, coming out of the draft, I thought Richardson and him were the top 2 quarterbacks. I would be fine either way, either one of those guys they took.
I think that dude's going to have a whole bunch of different guys catching passes from him next year, too. So hopefully better protection.
Oh.
And guys, yeah.
In terms of the draft, his draft question about drafting a position player, I'm just going to say we talked about this with Rhett Bryan before the show. The free agent market for wide receivers is pretty deep compared to what you're going to get for an offensive line market. There's nobody, because not one NFL team is letting go a starting caliber offensive lineman, especially a tackle. And if they are in free agency, something's wrong with them.
But the caller, like, he thought our tackles are good. He said
Well,
Duckett is good.
I don't
Back
know.
while Skoronski played last week, I can't give him none of that.
I don't know if you guys heard that
Rascal.
stat that they read on Buck Show this morning,
What?
but the between all 3 or 4 of the left tackles that the Titans have started, 70 pressures, 20 sacks. That's 50 more pressures than the most pressures given up by a single player this year. 20 more pressures, which was 50, and I believe it is 5 or 10 more sacks than the most single individual.
They got to lead this draft with a left tackle.
Yeah.
And they can't miss again. They missed on Panda. They missed on Radens. We have no idea about
Got to go
NPF.
tackle, offensive tackle, first pick, no question. And then I think I'll probably go wide receiver and then cornerback. If it was me, but they're probably going to be able to sign a cornerback in free agency. So we'll see the order first because of who they sign in free agency is first before the draft. They may be able to get a DB, and that could take them off the list. Got to remember now, we're going to lose Fulton and Bunting.
Yeah.
All you got left then is McQuarrie, this polished. That's it. Think about that. That is a proven starter in this league. That is absolutely horrible that you got one corner coming back. Because they should have drafted a corner this past year higher. Because that was one of the top ones on my list. No way. If they drafted a guy like in the second or third round last year, that would have been perfect.
As much as I love Tajay Spears, as much as I love him, as much as I love that they take
I do too.
for no more than what they've used him, they should have taken a cornerback.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And now you're going to have to draft one and sign one.
Oh no, they got to.
Man.
There's
And then
somebody-
in this era, you got to have 3 solid corners. And then now you're fighting with, guess who our backups are? All undrafted guys. Do you know what some of these receivers look at our depth chart and they start laughing?
They probably
And nothing against these guys. They're doing a good job. But they an elite player, they're looking like, what? Guerra? Who is that?
Blaine, as you're saying this, there's video of Noah Brown just running.
No, Brian, he's saying the
wild.
same thing.
Yes.
Dude, if I don't get 100, dude, something wrong. That means you didn't target me. I mean, nothing against him. Avery needs some help. Just the perception of these elite Pro Bowl players. They're like, hey, man, I'm getting a deuce easy. If I don't have a field day today, something wrong with y'all, and I'm going to be hot.
It's just,
Those conversations happen amongst players. Hey, man, you see who's out there? Did you see that all week in the quarterback's head? Hey, man, you saw who is that? I've never seen that dude. He's a good little watch this. He's a good little player. When they start saying those are demeaning words when you're an athlete. He's a good little player. And guess what? The people say, yeah, he's a good player. Yeah. So Dean, you go out there with the mindset. Not to say that they can't, but I'm just telling you how the athletes' minds work. And this is they better get a draft and free agent guy. Ha.
it's the same issue you've had with your offensive line. You're playing backups as full-time starters.
Those dudes aren't. Nobody respects them, man. I hate to say that, but that's just, yeah. Those guys are good quality depth pieces. They're supposed to be the 4th, 5th guys.
All right, let's roll into the break. Jason in the Borough will lead us off next. Wants to talk about, I think, maybe how many people we might see in the stadium this week and going forward for the last
It's gonna be
couple-
packed. It's Christmas. Everybody's home for the holidays. They going to the show, man. Come on, man. They got something. You gotta have something to do.
We'll get into that on the other side.
Come on, let's go. Watch this. At least be 50.
We'll find out soon. Probably to make it.
While you've been patiently preparing for cooler overnight temps, your home's heating system may need some prep of its own. That's where my friends at Cool Ray can come in. They're hard at work preparing thousands of Tennessee residents for the cool down with a $49 furnace tune-up. So think of your furnace tune-up like maintenance on your car. We all know what can go wrong if you neglect that, right? And if this is the year you finally need to fully replace your home's heating and cooling system, Cool Ray is armed and ready with same-day or next-day installation available on brand-new Tempstar home comfort systems. Plus, they boost a 10-year parts and labor warranty on the new unit. And with the holidays just around the corner, remember some important holiday tips for your friends at Cool Ray. Like, don't put a live or artificial tree there, bananas, near a heating vent, and to keep your family home safe during the holidays. So schedule your $49 tune-up or any heating, cooling, and plumbing, electrical related by going to coolray.com. No phone call, no wait, no worries. You pick the date and time that works for you. That's coolray.com.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. I'm trying to solve all the world's problems here this week of Christmas.
If they only knew, Mickey.
Yes, Jason in the borough. Jason, what's going on, man? You're going to hit up these last couple of home games for the Titans.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good, man.
I was going to say, I was going to touch on what y'all was saying first, and then I'll let you know what I was thinking.
Well, let us know.
I was going to say, is Tannehill not trying to play for his position somewhere else in another team? So wouldn't he want to play to try to make himself look a little better and make sure people that can see him doing well for the NFL, for him to get on another team? And then what I wanted to say was, for the 45% of people that don't want to show up to the game on this Sunday, Christmas Eve, come hit me up, because my daughter is a fan of the Seahawks and the Titans, and she would love to go for Christmas. That'd be a nice Christmas gift.
Nice.
So y'all hook me up.
Hey, drop your Twitter handle while people are listening. That way they can reach out to you.
Thompson Legend 1.
Get that?
What's it again?
Thompson Legend 1.
Thompson Legend 1.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, Jason. If you got a couple extra tickets, drop them on our man Jason. He can take his daughter to the game. Let her enjoy it. She can root for both teams. She'd leave happy no matter what.
Fan, huh?
I don't know how that happened.
But a lot of
Maybe she
people,
grew up in
have
Seattle.
family in town, so I think it's going to be a really decent crowd. It always kind of works out that way. Yeah, I believe it's going to be close to 60.
Weather's supposed to be good.
That's what I was just about to ask you.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you.
Were you talking about the attendance
You know
close to
why I'm
60 or
saying
the
this?
temperature?
I got
Or both.
10 people coming in town, and they're all like, I'm going to the game.
You taking them, huh?
And, yep, and I said, I don't get tickets anymore.
And they said, yeah, you do with your wallet.
They said, we saw that silver platinum card in your black one. I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, we'll go. That'd be my Christmas gift to you guys.
Tell them, I'll tell you
There
what, man.
you go. And that's how I made myself feel okay about it.
Oh, that's easy shopping, too. One stop.
Yep,
You
I
just
didn't
call
have
your
to do
ticket
that.
rep.
Yep.
I need 10.
Ticket rep. No, I called it saved.
It'll be interesting for
They
both-
said, sure, Blaine, we'll take your money.
Yes,
back.
yeah.
Watch this. Sure, Blaine, we'll take the money back we gave you.
It'll be interesting for both from a fan perspective and from the coaching perspective how they finished or how these last three games go, just because this is really uncharted territory for Mike Vrabel in the last 6 years. They haven't really been in this position in terms of being eliminated this early. Obviously, this is the earliest a Titans team under Mike Vrabel has been eliminated. It'll be interesting how they handle this.
I think they're going to handle it like Blaine said. They're going to handle it. They want to win those games. They're going to put Tannehill out there, and they're going to try the darn well best. They're going to keep running the ball. They're going to do what they do.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anything's going to change. You know what could have happened, though, during this time to help Tannehill out a little bit is that they have thrown the ball more from just Vrabel's perspective than they did when Tannehill was the quarterback. So he may get a little psyched up and juiced up about that a little bit, just to be able to throw a little bit more, especially vertically down the field. Because the offense has changed a little bit, and we've gotten to see it all grow. I know he started the season, but he didn't get to see the fruits of all of the offense. So he may be, and it was some guys open, so he may be able, he'll launch that thing because he knows he's not going to backpedal out of these things, so he's going to let that thing fly.
Yeah.
What do you have to do? Lose. Worst case scenario, he's going to be a backup somewhere, making $7 million sitting on the bench. Or he can make another 30 if he proves that he's a starter again and plays well, even in defeat, if they lose.
For anybody who thinks he doesn't want to play, are you crazy?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And some people say, oh, no, he's trying to save his body. No. He's trying to increase his stock because he believes, because there's some GMs, I think, in this league thinks Tannehill's a backup now. I think he could be very serviceable. In worst case scenario, he's a Gardner Minshew type player. He could start probably an entire season and you don't miss a beat with your offense.
This season should show that Tannehill can still be a starter in this league.
Just
look at how many different starting quarterbacks, how many backup quarterbacks.
It's a record,
played.
I think. I think it's 56 quarterbacks.
Insane.
56 so far quarterbacks, and maybe more than that now that we got the Seahawks and they had Locke started. So that's 57. Quarterbacks have started in the National Football League this year. That's insane.
Hey, man, if you can just get on a roster.
You gonna play?
Malik Willis has played in like 3 games this year. I mean,
No. At quarterback.
He's at least played some on the field.
I'm just saying, at quarterback, bananas help us out. He's up there messing with the stats.
I think he's 4 or 5 passing this year. So I think he's played a little bit of quarterback. But the point I'm trying to make is if you are a quarterback and you can make somebody – you think Tommy DeVito thought, I'm going to play this year?
Oh, absolutely not.
Man, think of the rules to protect the quarterbacks. Think if there were no rules to protect quarterbacks anymore, we might have seen 157 quarterbacks this year. You can't even breathe on these guys hard.
Yeah,
and we've still seen this many.
Yeah, you're right.
If you're a quarterback, just make a team. Beat the number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just be the number 3.
Man.
So Tannehill's going to be valuable to somebody next year. 100%.
Right now, Tannehill is still in my opinion, still in the top 64. That would be all starters and all backups. He is very close to the top 30.
That's a no-brainer.
Top 32. But he's going to go make his money somewhere next year. And if a team doesn't want him, they're crazy because even if you're going to use him as a backup, he'd instantly be a top 5 backup. Instantly.
Yep.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And he can, I mean, like you were saying, legs feel good. There's some spring in his step. I mean, he's
feeling fresh right now.
He's still a super athletic guy, even for his age.
Yeah.
Like can run
For a
and
quarterback.
move and do all those things, even at his age. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He and Will Levis have different arm talents, but his arm talent is make pretty much every throw level arm talent.
But aren't you excited to see? Wouldn't you come and see what Tannehill has left in the tank?
But
That's
I mean,
the whole point. I think somebody's
you may be out there
come.
doing the pregame show.
Well, I'll be there.
We're going to be there.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about my whole family, not just here.
Oh, to watch the game, I would much rather Tannehill have the reins to the team
Yeah.
than Malik Willis.
Mm-hmm. You're coming. Great holiday gift to come on out and
Tickets
see Santa.
available. Yeah.
Santa Claus will be there too. Yeah.
Well, I got to sneak in a couple more requests. I hope he's there. Maybe
Mhm.
he'll swing by the.
Yeah, and
By the
they're
pregame
supposed to do a drive-by by the stadium there with the deers.
Somebody said, did you see DeVito's agent wanted $20K to do an appearance at a local pizza joint? Hey, man, if you're DeVito, I don't fault the agent for asking for as much money as you can. You have no idea how long this is going to last.
Ride the train.
Ride the wave.
Boy, that guy's still living with his mom right at their house, right?
100%.
So he's trying to help
He's-
pay the mortgage there.
Tommy
Help her
Pasta is making every penny he can make and just socking it away. All right.
Legend 1.
Hour number 2 coming up. Coach Mack is a legend. He will join us. Casey Alexander at 2:45. Belmont's coach, they're about to play A-State tomorrow night.
Who that?
I got to do a scouting report.
A-State.
You know who the A-State is, the Arkansas State University. But we'll talk to you, too. Phones are ringing off the hook. Tierre Tart has found a home. Let's tell you where he's going to be. And guess what? It's somebody you know well.
Huh?
Blaine and Mickey 104.5, The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. When trust matters, slap on a new garage door for Christmas. Just have Santa bring the garage door down to Christmas and let All Four Seasons install it.
Oh, that's why I kept the red bow on my garage. It's still on there till Christmas is over. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see, I did that.
Yeah, that looks good, man. I drive through your neighborhood and honk when I see that red bow, then I know where you are. Maybe Tier Tart's going to find a new garage door for himself in H-Town because he got picked up by the Texans. I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. I'm telling you, I
love
knew
the
it.
intensity and the passion. You sound like me.
I would have called him so fast if I was. We had to put in a waiver claim because he got waived because of his time in the league. And for people to say, what's the difference, waived or cut? After you've been in the league, what is it?
Four.
More than 4 years.
Yes.
You get cut. Then you're just a free agent.
You can go anywhere.
It's 4 or less. You get waived. That means the worst teams get the first crack at you. The Texans are a playoff team. Think how far down that guy. You think they send in that waiver claim for $150 or whatever it is, and it's like, hey, hey, this is Fred from the NFL office. I just want to let you guys know your claim for Tier Tart came through. You'd be like, we're 8-6, and we're adding Tier Tart this week. You don't think he's Tier Tart as in rhymes with heart?
You got
It was your
me.
chance, man. I teed it up for you. Heart rhymes with tart. You think how motivated that guy's going to be?
Oh, my. I can't wait.
And he's like, wait a second. Y'all pick me up? And we get to play the Titans again?
Oh, you know they did that on purpose. You know they did, the Texans. Oh, we got them. Watch this. We beat them. We took our jerseys back, and we took Tart.
Yep.
Who rhymes with fart?
Whoa. They didn't take the jerseys.
No.
They're legally
I was
still
gonna say we got the
belonging to
jersey.
Tennessee.
Oh, man. This dude.
We have the law on our side.
I don't know, man. Oh, yeah, for sure on the jerseys.
Well, they got the
That's how
Tart
they
on their
feel.
side. I think that dude's going to come in here like Jefferson on Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh,
I think he's going to hit everybody that moves as much as he can hit them. This is going to be the most motivated. We've seen some good games from that guy.
Oh, man. Yeah, he gets some tackle for losses.
You think he knows the weak spots in the offensive line?
Well, yeah, I think he knows.
What?
Where's the strong spot?
There is no strong spot. What are you talking about?
Unfortunately, I think that's
340
all the
versus
spots.
Brewer. Uh-oh. Looks like trouble. I think it backfired on Vrabel. Yep, he shouldn't have put out that he was a malcontent because he might have got picked up sooner.
And gone to a different team?
Yep. Mm-hmm. That somebody would pick him up soon. They get scared when you start putting out he's a disgruntled, he's attitude, yep.
Well, congratulations.
Drop.
You played yourself
We
because
had
now
a-
he's in the division.
That's what I'm saying.
We had a caller earlier
In
calling
Houston.
and wanted to ask if the Titans get any compensation for Tart being picked
I
up.
don't think so.
There's free agency stuff
They
for
get compensation
for people who
draft?
go. You do get like compensatory picks for like if you lose more than you gain of free agents.
Mm-hmm.
But him leaving during the season, I don't know how that affects that.
I don't recall if they get anything. I'm trying to think of a scenario that's happened here before. They got compensation, and usually you see that when they start coming out with the draft and where you get picks at and everything else. I don't think they do.
It'll be a minute before all that gets awarded for the number that leave versus the number who you sign and whatever that complicated formula is. But
Never know though. Somebody will text us or tell us.
oh, there's always somebody.
They'll
who knows.
text Mickey.
Yeah, somebody will text us and tell us. That rascal is going to be the most motivated dude.
I bet he run to the ball then. I'm predicting he's going to point at Vrabel. He's going to point at Vrabel. He's going to point at Vrabel every time. Am I running to the ball now, Coach?
That is New Year's Eve that Titans will journey down to H-Town, and they will see Tier Tart and the Texans once again.
Boy, I feel very, very uncomfortable about that. Like, just watching how that's going to transpire. Like, we have some dogs and some dudes on the O-line, some old wily vets that are mean dogs. Whoo, I think we handle them. I don't know, man. Brewer 280. And then watching Duncan and Skoronski get run right through by their D-tackle. I'm like, well, Tart is just as good as that guy. I've never heard of that guy either.
Yeah.
I'm like, Oh no, man. This is gonna be. We couldn't run the ball then, but we about to see if we can run the ball now. Then next time,
Derrick Henry was 16 carries for 9 yards against them. 16 for 9.
There's no way in heck he doesn't get more than 9 yards. Never say never, man. Oh man, this is.
If I was him, I would be like, "Hey man, I'm gonna stand up in front of this film session in my position group, and I'm gonna show you like, put me right there. That's where I want to go because I practice against these fools every day. Put me right there, and then watch what happens. And then watch what happens.
And then you don't have to worry about me getting tired because I'm just in the rotation.
Yep, just rotate me in
be
and out.
Fresh.
I'm gonna tap my helmet after I tap somebody in the backfield again. I'm gonna tap them. Then I'm gonna tap that. Ow. Then I'm gonna tap my hat at Vrabel with my fingers, and then a certain one in the middle of my hand, and then I'm gonna tap myself over and get a cold Gatorade, and then I'm gonna rinse and repeat.
Oh man!
Could you imagine how fired up he is about all this stuff?
I'll tell him take a deep breath and say, "Hey man, it's just another game."
They're going to have to calm him down.
He'll be like, "Nah, this ain't no another game."
He's going to take the first bus to the stadium that day. Hey, they're going to say, "Calm down, man."
I definitely know exactly how this feels. This happened to me with the Eagles. Andy Reid helped me so much. He had to talk to me for 3 days in a row.
Because for people who don't know, Blaine was an Oiler Titan for 9 years, then joined the Eagles for a year and had to come back here and play.
First game of the season.
First game of the season.
First game of the season. And he's like, Blaine, you don't play the Titans today.
Yeah.
Quit hitting our players. You ain't going to make it to the game. I said, well, y'all wanted me to go 100%. So I threw it back at him. Remember I told you how they talking about Blaine, you going only 75%, you gotta go 100%. He said, no. This is we talking about 100% in practice. We're not talking about 100% game. That's two different things. I said, huh? He said, first of all, you may hurt yourself, but you don't play them today, and they're gonna use your aggressive nature against you. He says, I'm serious. It's just another game. And if you don't approach that way, your emotions are gonna take control of you. And the third day, it hit me and said, you know what, coach is right. This is just another game. I'm studying just like anybody else. I'm going to go out there with that fire like I always do, but it's just another team. It's just they got a different jersey, and I'm on a different jersey. That's it. And, man, that helped me it helped me out tremendously. I'm not even lying. It was great. It was great. Because I think I would have bit up on play action pass every time I wanted to knock somebody out. I'm not even going to lie. One time I ran and hit Eddie Jordan. He already crossed the line. I hit him head first. Boom. Made him fly in the air. Me too. I was flying in the air. Yeah. Eddie was laughing like, dude, you hit me late. They didn't call a penalty. Yeah. I wanted a piece of Eddie. You know why? He was from Philly. Oh. Hey, man, as soon as I got on, hey, man, Eddie George. Probably like how they do Henry now, right? Oh, man, that dude's massive. Man, he be running over people, just high-stepping. What was that? I said, well, shoot, I never hit him. What do you mean?
Right, I couldn't hit him.
I couldn't touch that dude at practice. What are you even talking about? He was going against the backups and stuff at practice. Nobody could hit him. I mean, we could thud up. Like, I don't know. I said, but in the game, bro, he's the truth.
Yeah.
Just know that. The film not lying. So I could give him nothing. I couldn't give him nothing. I said, that's all I can tell you, but you better bring your hard hat. He runs hard. I'm like, no other.
Well, here's the thing, too. Eddie was underrated at catching the ball and just trucking people, where he catches the ball on one of those wheel routes, and there's some poor unfortunate soul out in front of him.
Oh, I think he got my man, because me and Levon Kirkland was on there from the Steelers. I think he got Levon. They kind of, and I'm like, oh, hey, whoa, you went backwards there, Levon. What's going on?
Film don't lie.
He said he got stronger from the time I was with the Steelers. I said, oh, no, he gets stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah. Yeah, superhuman, man. That's for sure.
Bananas.
Ron in the borough wants to join this discussion. Hey, Ron, how you doing?
All right, gentlemen. How you doing today?
Man, we doing great, man.
Are you kidding me?
It's beautiful outside. I'm breathing.
It's nice out now. Hey, I'm a semi long time listener. I'm a long-term
lifelong Bucks fan, but I love listening to you guys and following the Titans. The only time I hope they lose is when they play my Bucks.
That's fair.
Ooh, how long have you been a Bucks fan?
Oh, man. Well, I listened to him, listened to Gene Deckerhoff, and watched the game on TV in the 80s, if that told you anything.
Oh, okay. I was about
okay.
to. Well,
All right.
one of the hardest dudes to tackle. Like 2 different guys for the Bucks.
Well, I used to go to games at Houlihan Stadium, too. I'm born and raised in Clearwater, Florida.
Oh, okay. Mike Alstott and Warwick Dunn. Ooh,
yes, sir.
2 different styles,
Those are
and they
2 of
both
my
were hard to
favorites.
tackle.
I love Mike Allstott.
Oh, he was a mess.
Sure was.
Golly.
I just had a random thought while y'all were talking about your secondary, help. Y'all were needing help at corner. And I was thinking, man, I was like, they need another Cortland Finnegan. Yeah, I just thought that, you know what?
They do.
The Titans need somebody that makes people hate the Titans again a little bit.
I get you a little edgy.
Dogs.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
Well, how was it received by Titans fans the way that he conducted himself, if you don't mind me asking? Because I didn't live here at the time, so I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't
against the
listen to
Texans
y'all.
when he got in the fight with Andre Johnson? Oh, no, it was fine.
Well, it wasn't only just that fight. I remember that one kind of vividly, but I do remember he was always in a little tussle with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like him around the league. So I started thinking, I was like, well, who's coming up in free agency that is like a Cortland Finnegan in this market?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Who is that? You know? You got any ideas?
You're not gonna like this answer. Eli Apple is a free agent.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
You were talking about the trash talking. I don't know how good he is, but the trash talking aspect of it.
Cortland Finnegan backed up everything he ever said.
Yeah, he was different now. He was the most unliked player in the NFL. He got that. He was number 1.
But he was liked here a lot.
Oh, he loved him. Yeah.
He got the rare deal on the way up from this team. Remember that? Because we talked about
He
it.
wasn't even a free agent.
They Andy Reided him where it's like, hey, man, you playing way out of your head over your contract. You were 7th-round pick. As you said before, that dude was a safety at Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford.
And then he comes here and plays cornerback, and he literally moved to cornerback in the NFL?
Oh, he's got to be probably behind Samari Rowe as the most favorite cornerback in Titans history. I'm sure Jason McCourty's on there, but Cortland Finnegan got to be number 2, right behind Samari Rowe.
There's a lot of free agent cornerbacks.
I'm not an Eli Apple fan.
That was just.
I know,
yeah.
but
There are a lot of good
player,
cornerbacks coming up in this free agency class.
Some Coach Mack coming up in the next segment. So let's get to Coach Mack. We'll get his thoughts on that game that just happened and the rest of the season and what Coach Mack thinks. Heck, we can even ask him about Cortland Finnegan. He knows him well. That's all coming up.
Stinky, stinky, stinky. Is that what it was like the last time you were at an auto repair shop? Smelly, greasy, old rags laying around, a countertop that you would never dare touch. Another thing that stinks is the repair shops that keep your car forever, and they're not honest, and they don't call you back when they say they will. Or was your last experience at a vehicle repair shop like that? Hey, it's Blaine Bishop to tell you about Eurofix. And Eurofix takes the stink out of European auto repair. And at Eurofix, you get a free 15-minute no-rinse inspection with an estimate at every visit, no high-pressure sales tactics. And at Eurofix, you get a 3-year nationwide warranty and a free loaner car with every repair appointment. And never pay dealer pricing. Eurofix is located in Franklin, Hundred Oaks, Murfreesboro, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. So you all get excited and just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can just visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. Always on Blaine, said you.
Life is busy. We could all use some extra time in our day, which is exactly why Two Rivers Ford offers mobile service. We'll bring the service to your driveway at no additional charge. Oil changes, brakes, batteries, the certified technicians at Two Rivers will perform basic maintenance on your vehicle wherever you are, so you'll have more time for moments like this. Schedule your mobile service appointment by scanning the QR code or calling Two Rivers Ford today.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Just going through a Tuesday, second hour of every Tuesday. You know what that means. It means Coach Mack, brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, Middle Tennessee's most trusted local Ford dealership for 40 years. Coach Mack, you ever get a new Ford under the Christmas tree? That'd be a pretty nice gift.
It's in his driveway.
You know what? My sister owns a Ford dealership in Texas, and I wish she was listening to this program right now because she never gave me a Ford. No.
Well, dang, man, I feel like we need to remedy
She
that.
must have gave it to me, man.
Well, what I would like for you to do, because I know we've got the technology, go ahead and record this, and I'll send it to her for her Christmas present.
Ooh, I see how you work, Coach Mack.
Joseph
Your little
had that
slide
red.
dog,
Joseph's
man.
already
Your
hit the
little
red
slide
button,
dog,
man. He's recording all this. We'll pass this right along to your sister.
Yeah, but while we're talking Christmas, because I won't probably get to see nor talk to you guys before Christmas and Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yes, sir. You too.
You two are special dudes, and I want you to you and your families have a great Christmas.
Well, I want the same for you, Coach, for sure. I know a lot of people wanted a nice Christmas to start against the Texans. Man, it seemed like the Titans were kind of one play away from putting it away over and over again. They just couldn't do it. And hat tip to D'Amico Ryans and the Texans for what they were able to do. They came in and they didn't want to get beat by Derrick Henry, and by gosh, they stopped him, and they did enough to win the game.
Well, it very similar to the Miami game, and the fact that the Titans started out well, hit a lull in the middle, but the difference is they couldn't finish. And against Miami, they rallied up and finished big. They could not finish against the Texans, and it was a very disappointing loss, clearly for the team and then for everybody else. Because, again, as I say, I really the fans at Nissan this year have been absolutely tremendous, and they were all into it and everything that I saw Blaine before the game. I saw him down there talking with Earl Campbell, and of course then the celebration of life, and the tribute to Frank Wycheck, first of all, I thought was outstanding. I thought that, and then of course Billy White Shoes Johnson induction into the Ring of Honor it was a special day all around, and it didn't finish like anybody associated with the Titans wanted it to finish.
What were the Texans able to do so well defensively to the Titans' offensive line? And I know they're a young, experienced bunch, but man, that they just had no answers for what the Texans were doing.
Well, they loaded up and stopped the run. I mean, they absolutely had they completely crushed the run. Matt Burke is their defensive coordinator. Yeah. He started out here at the Titans with us. Started out as my assistant in the linebacker room when Jeff Fisher and Jim Schwartz hired him from Dartmouth and brought him in here. This was his first start in the National Football League, and he's been under some really good defensive coaches, in his tenure coming up, and he understood that to stop the run, you've got to load up early on, and then you've got to be able to withstand the one-on-one on the outside that it presents when you're loading up to stop the run. And then, what he did then is when they got him into must-pass situations, I mean, he just stormed the castle. I mean, he absolutely did. And I know that 7 sacks were recorded, but, there were a lot more pressures and hits on that quarterback than 7 in that game.
Hanging out with Coach Mack, getting the Mack attack again, courtesy of the good folks at Two Rivers Ford.
Well, Coach, there were some positives in the game besides not
there
getting the
were.
final victory with Burks. We got to see a little more Burks, so we got to see that he at least exists out there a little bit. And then no false starts, which I'm super happy about. But kind of take us into maybe some other positive things that you saw out there that the Titans, being a young team, can kind of build on.
Well, they got Traylon started, and you're right. I mean, they got him started, and you can see, I mean, this is a big, strong receiver that can stretch the field, when you get it to him. But you've got to have time. He's got to have time to be able to – and plus, a couple of those tunnel screens, Blaine, I know that you saw that they threw to him outside. He ran through the initial tackles, which was really, really big. And so, he's got to continue to develop. I mean, his career has been very, very segmented because of start stop with injuries, with injuries, not only to the lower body but then the concussions. So he hasn't really had a fluid start yet, in one full year, and that's really what he needs, is to be able to stack games back on one on top of the other, but we all see the talent. I mean, everybody can see the talent, and so you need to develop that further. I thought the defense was playing extremely well early on, and especially with a lot of pieces missing, especially at the corner position, and then they did a nice job. Now Case Keenum, on Titans radio before, because I was with Case Keenum for 5 years at the Rams. I mean, I know what Case Keenum's all about, because he started a lot of games for us, and he's one of those guys, like Gardner Minshew is, that everybody says, oh well, you got to back up. Well, those guys have stayed in the league for a long time because they're a dealer and they understand how to operate offenses. And so, I mean, the Titans were very aware of what he could do, but the one pick that he threw that the Titans were able to return for a touchdown, I thought that gave the Titans a huge momentum boost, and a leg up. So, some of those things. And then again, Danico Autry just continues to show up, to show up. Because this guy is a consummate professional, but it was disappointing to watch him be able to run the football, and it wasn't only inside up the middle. They were running some counter gap schemes too, where the fits just and again, this is the same thing that we've experienced sometimes during the season, and everybody else experienced it. I watched that Seattle game very, very closely last night, and it's the same thing that Philadelphia, fell into in that game last night. Against Seattle was the run fits, especially on a lot of the counter pull stuff that Seattle does with those three tight ends and the movement stuff. It's not good. And if your fits aren't good, any of these backs in the league are going to take advantage of it if they get to their third step.
No doubt about it. We're on with Coach Mack, giving us the Mack Attack here from Titans Radio. Love Levis's effort in this last game, but at points in time, I'm interested to hear you being a former head coach and a DC, and how you approach, how teams would attack him, like trying to hit him, because he's kind of somewhat reckless. And I'm not talking about his injury. I'm talking about when he's running, trying to buy time and trying to make an extra down. It's like he's going a little too far. How do you manage a quarterback, especially a young, passionate, driven quarterback, to slide and learn how to protect himself when he gets out in the open field? Because we all know what you defensive coordinators are teaching the player to go out there and do. And that means, hey, let's see number 2 quarterback.
You don't ever coach competitiveness out of them, but you coach common sense in them. And common sense says quarterbacks get a maximum amount of protection when they are runners, and take advantage of that. Now, this game, I thought he was a little bit better. Blaine, he didn't lower his shoulder this game. At least he can't. But you could still tell that he was fighting that urge to slide, because he came in and he kind of chest bumped him, off of him. But at least he didn't lower his shoulder and go into that thing. So he has to learn that. Because as you said, and you're right. I mean, you're a former guy. I mean, they call you the hit man for a reason. I mean, and you know that if you have a quarterback that is going to challenge a defense, they're going to go after you. And they're going to go after you with everything that they have, every chance they get. So, as I said, you don't coach caution into your players, but especially at the quarterback position, you coach common sense into them, especially when you're a runner.
Well, Coach, you've been down this road before, and a lot of people are asking questions, not only the fans, but a little bit of the media as well here in Nashville, because it's uncharted territory for Coach Vrabel to be coaching for nothing really. Not they're being eliminated from the playoffs. So, kind of take us through what coaches do when, in my mind, when you don't have anything to play for, look forward to going down the road. It's different in the pros to me, but I want to hear from Coach.
Well, this is new territory for me too. But the few times I've been through it in my coaching career, there's plenty to coach and play for, because first of all, you're talking about your profession, and that's number one, and everything. Everybody is still look. These films, the films in the games when you're out of the playoff contention are being viewed just as hard as the ones when you're in the playoff contention for coaches and players. And so, and for players, it should be very, very simple. Because everything you do and you put on film is an interview, either at your current place or for someplace else. And so it's not like just because, again, as I said, this is the first time in my years doing this here on Titans Radio, the 8th year doing it, that we've been out of it, in December with 3 games left. But to me, the thing that's important for players to understand is that you're still being evaluated, not only here, at the Titans, but everywhere else across the league. So it's not like everybody quits watching. The people that are determining your future are not, don't quit watching these games. Just because you don't have a chance to get into the playoffs with a result of the games.
Well, with Coach Mack, giving us the Mack Attack from Titans Radio.
Coach, Seattle's defense, I know you were saying you watched that game. They haven't been particularly great in anything this season, but, man, they got a couple of turnovers versus the Eagles last night. They held them to 7 points. They had benched Jamal Adams and played another guy in his place and made some personnel moves, but they looked solid last night.
Well, on all 3 levels, the Williams, of course, inside, since the trade has really been a beast. Boye Mafe on the edge. I liked him in the draft, and he's coming on. He's got 7 sacks this year. So Williams, Mafe, and then the linebacker that's been playing there for, it seems like for 100 years. That back there is such a great player.
Bobby Wagner, yes, sir.
Yeah, Wagner, and he's been such a great player for a lot of years in that defense. And here's the other thing about their defense. I mean, ever since Pete's been there, Pete has got a system that he works with, but also they tweak that system depending on the type of people that they have. For years and years and years with the Legion of Boom there, and I know very well because played them for a lot of years when I was there at the Rams. They were the team that we built the Rams to beat because they were the leaders in the NFC West then. And defensively, you're going to have to beat that 3-match coverage in the back end, and they lived with a 4-man rush. They lived with a 4-man rush, 4-man pressure, and that 3-match back there in the back end. And so now, they started to move people around a little bit because they don't quite have the Legion of Boom back there. I think that's why they went out and got Adams, because he was, he kind of fit that mold. Of course, he wasn't even there, I don't think, at Lumen Field.
Yeah.
For that ball game. But be that as it may, they're always going to be at least in the mix defensively as long as Pete Carroll's there, because he's got something that has worked for him since he's been at USC on the defensive side of the football, and it's worked for him for a lot of years there in Seattle.
It sure has. This has nothing to do with the current Titans or the Seahawks or anything, but I wanted to ask you about this guy. We had a caller who brought up Cortland Finnegan in the last segment, and just, wouldn't it be great if the Titans could find another guy like him? And I thought, well, we can ask Coach Mack about Cortland Finnegan. He knows him pretty well.
Well, Finney was a tremendous find in the draft, and I remember vetting, Cortland Finnegan and watching him there at Sanford. And the thing that we would watch and we would see, of course, he played safety there. He was a safety there, but he was extremely fast and very, very aggressive. Now, when we brought him in here and had him transition to a cornerback, and you can ask Finney this, and he will tell you too, because, we loved him so much that when Jeff Fisher took the job at the Rams, we brought him up there with us, to the Rams too, because highly competitive, very combative. But when we first brought him in here, guys, had to teach him how to backpedal. He had never backpedaled in his life. Never back. Think of that. He got to be a Pro Bowl corner, but coming into the league, he had never backpedaled in his life. So it points out his work ethic, his dedication to his craft, and plus, he was just a rat terrier, man. He would go after you, and he just would never ever stop, and that was infectious for everybody not only on the defense but on the team. I love Finney, and he was a guy that made his mark in this league.
Sure did. Coach Mack made his mark in the league, too. Makes it on Titans Radio now and joins us this same time every week.
Well, Coach, coach to coach, on that first drive, I think it was the first drive with the Titans in this past game versus the Texans, they were on a 35-yard line. Vrabel goes for it on 4th down.
How about that?
Boy, man, what kind of cojones you got to have that, man, in the first drive ever. Yeah, Vray balls, man. That's what we called him. Mickey just termed it there, man. That was, whoa, wait. Let's call timeout. I was thinking timeout. Let's think about this now. I don't know. Man, what goes into a decision like that? Now, it worked out, and it was a great decision, but, man, that is the Vray ball I want to see on offense all the time.
Well, I think it was very calculated. It was just like going for 2 down there. You guys are very creative.
That's that Mickey, man.
Yeah. How did I know that was Mickey?
Yeah.
You guys, that's pretty creative there. Anyway, it goes in. I mean, they thought it out. I mean, because it's the same thing they did when they went for 2 down there. I mean, he's got some reasoning behind it. And here's the other thing: they had some momentum going, in that drive, and they were coming off of a week with some momentum at the end of the game. With the offense, and they were being able to move the ball, and I think that they're just sometimes and analytics. I don't know how much analytics played into that one, but you've got to have. We've talked before. I mean, you and I've talked a lot just about the feel of the game, both as a coach and a player, and a feel at the game at the moment in time. I think that was a moment in time when he just felt like, we can make it.
Yeah, that was a heck of a call there, man. Man, I have to ask you because I asked you somewhat similar question last week, but this is on the defensive side. The first half, I don't think the Titans gave up any sacks. You can quote me on if I'm a little wrong. But then in the second half, they gave up 7 sacks. I was like, well, what happened here when we're up 13-3, and then now all of a sudden we're giving up all these sacks? Maybe because we couldn't run the ball? At least enough to keep them honest? I don't know. What happened?
You could not run it. And then if you look back, and again, I don't break down the film like I did when I was coaching, but during the game when I'm watching it, I make notes. And you could see in the second half what Matt Burke did. He started bringing everybody up. As I said, he started bringing everybody up to the line of scrimmage. You could hear me say a lot of times he'd bring guys out of the secondary up on the edge, both to the open side and to the closed side, right at the snap, and say, here, we're coming. Let's go, because it really looked to me like they felt like if they continued to put the pressure, on the blocking unit, that sooner or later they could get it to crack. And then what they did, and I think it goes right along with what you just said, that was very, very true. They were stoning the run so well that finally they just, they really abandoned any thought of playing the run conventionally with 7 people, and just started bringing 8 or 9 people up in the line of scrimmage and at the quarterback.
There you go.
Coach, fantastic stuff. We know you're getting ready for Christmas Eve. We will see you and Santa Claus at Nissan Stadium in a few days, my friend.
Ho, ho, ho.
Guys, Merry Christmas to both of you. Really appreciate you. See you guys.
Yes, sir.
See you, Braver Balls.
When we come back, let's talk about some basketballs with Casey Alexander, head coach at Belmont. He will join us next. They got a big midweek game against a team tomorrow night from Arkansas State. We'll discuss. I'll get my words right.
Hey, this is Blaine Bishop, and I'm excited to tell you about Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, or as you may know them as TOA. And TOA has 29 locations, over 100 orthopedic physicians throughout Middle and East Tennessee to take care of all your musculoskeletal needs. In addition to the orthopedic clinics and urgent care facilities, TOA offers physical therapy, hand therapy, and sports performance training for teams and individuals at their sports performance centers. And as a former professional athlete, I know how important access to expert orthopedic care is. Whether you're an athlete, active adult, or just looking to get back to living your best life, you can visit TOA online at TOA.com. Yes, that's TOA.com. Or you can call them at 1-855-NEED-TOA. That's 1-855-NEED-TOA.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Lots of football talk today, but lots of basketball talk coming up with the man who runs the Belmont program, Casey Alexander. He joins us now at Casey Alexander _ I know we got a big game to talk about, but I did want to start with this. First of all, Merry Christmas. Great talking to you. Saw that you guys did a very cool event with the Boys and Girls Club last night. And as a guy who worked in college administration, I got to tell you, I love stuff like that, man. That was really cool, Casey.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Great to be with you guys. It was a fun night for us and our team, and a lot of credit to Belmont admin for putting that together. We've done it for many, many years. So meet with those kids, have a couple of slices of pie, and then go do some shopping. So it's a fun time for everybody. Great to give back in that way.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right, let's get to this big matchup. The Arkansas State University rolls into Music City.
Oh, my.
I mean, it's not often that I get to, talk about anything like this. So Arkansas
Talk
State.
about how bad your team is?
They've been pretty bad. But they're on a 2-game win streak right now. They beat Louisville. And they did that, Casey, to try to get your attention.
And they did, for sure. And if my memory's right, last time we got together, Mickey, you were telling me that you built that place. Is that right? You're kind of single-handedly responsible for building that place over there.
Well, I mean,
you bit that locker, that one locker.
Yeah, I have my name on a seat in the football auditorium. I have my tire tracks in the basketball arena. I drove my pickup in it when it was new. I'll have to tell you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I had a pickup and there was a building and I drove through it. I'll save that for another time.
Let's say one in the parking lot.
Yeah, no, it's a different one, man. I wish I still had it though.
Hey, they've got a good team. The record doesn't necessarily reflect that, but they, a new coach, a lot of fresh faces. It was pretty natural. It was going to take them some time to, figure out who they were. But their last two outings, golly, they pound a really talented UAB team, beat them by 20, and then, Louisville's not the Louisville we're accustomed to, but they dominated the game, led by double figures the whole second half, and so. They definitely have our attention.
Casey Alexander's got our attention at Casey Alexander _ Follow him there on Twitter.
Well, Casey, you guys got my attention. I was at the Lipscomb game and sitting right down there front row watching you at work, man. You got a really, really good team. I was pleasantly impressed with your team. But I guess you tell me, what kind of team do you have, you think, potentially?
We're getting better. And that game is that game's pretty reflective of how our season is going. I think in the first half we were exceptional. We were really good on both ends of the floor and pretty locked in. And second half, to get at Lipscomb certainly was a lot better, and they deserve a lot of credit. But it was a little bit too up and down, and that's kind of how we've been. But I think we've hit our stride a little bit at the same time. We've had today was our 51st practice, and we've played 12 games. And so if we can't put something together and we don't really know who we are at this point, we've wasted a lot of time.
Based off on the schedule of school, I don't know, is this the last game of the year for you guys? I'm trying to figure it out. But how do coaches handle, end of the year where guys have finals and a lot of distractions off the court? And, how does that process even work? Or do you even think about it and don't worry about it?
Yeah, it's a little different for everybody. In our case, this is our last game prior to Christmas, so we'll be off from the 21st through the 25th, which is about as long of a break as you get in our world. And then we'll resume right after Christmas and get ready for conference play. We got a long break. It's unusual to have. I think we have 13 days between games, and that's pretty abnormal. But it'll give us a chance to take that break and then regather and get ourselves ready to go, almost for a second season in some ways.
There you have it. Casey Alexander, Belmont men's basketball coach.
Hey, this is the last tune-up game for you before you guys start conference play. This is year 2 for you in the Missouri Valley. What's the biggest thing you learned about your team and competing at this level last year? Because, again, this is your second time to go through it.
Yeah, it's the magnitude of it more than anything. It was just such a blank slate, literally. Had played in almost none of those arenas, hadn't been to those cities, haven't played those teams, didn't know the style of play. And so, the cumulative effect of all those things, it was a little bit overwhelming, to be honest with you. It felt like we played 31 non-conference games last year, because we just didn't have the familiarity of those teams. So we're much more prepared. We'll understand style of play. We got a much better feel for how the game's officiated in that league, which was, I've said a lot of times, significantly different than how the OVC was officiated. And so I hope I hope our play will reflect that. Time will tell.
One of the things you learned last year was that Cade Tyson could play. He won like every award you could win, and this year he's even better. Man, that rascal is something else.
Yeah, he's a gamer too. He works really hard, so he's, the success that he's had, he has definitely earned, which is, you love to see that as a coach. Somebody's hard work pay off when the lights come on, and so he's carried us. He's actually, it's been a tough year for him in some ways. He missed a game from illness. He missed a couple of games with an ankle injury and played through an ankle injury, which y'all probably talked about that with the Titans a time or two today.
Yeah.
He's had to handle that stuff, and basketball's a hard game with ankle sprains. And so he hasn't really been healthy, but his numbers would never reflect that. He's been really, really good when he's been in there.
Casey Alexander, Belmont head basketball coach, hanging out with us ahead of a huge matchup with Arkansas State.
Well, Coach, I thought, huge matchup with Arkansas State, right? Well, I thought this was a huge signing by Casey Alexander. I guess talk a little bit about it. He's from Franklin, Tennessee, a 5-year-old. He's part of the Team Impact and your partnership with Belmont and you there with Bradley. Kind of talk a little bit about his special situation there.
Yeah, Bryce Bradley, cerebral palsy, and a big basketball fan, loves our team, follows us closely. Been a real pleasure for our Belmont family to get to know his family. And, as I said, when we signed him on the dotted line a couple of weeks ago, he's going to make us better. A guy that loves life and loves hoops. And, that's what we should all aspire to in our program every day. So it's been really cool. And we're happy that to have that partnership with him and that family.
Yep, teamimpact.org, man. So that's the good luck charm. So they take the Arkansas State down tonight.
Yeah, that guy may score 20 on Arkansas State tomorrow night. I don't know. He's a valuable member of the team for sure. Oh,
yeah, no doubt.
Well, Casey, listen, we appreciate the time today, and take it easy on my squad tomorrow night. I'll see you there. I'll try not to wear too much red and black. I don't want to stand out too much, while I root for my team. But
friends forever, Mickey. Friends forever.
All right.
I'm on my red and white and blue.
Yeah, Blaine will be in the Belmont colors, so I'll wear red for both teams. How about that?
Schools my wife went to. Yeah.
Casey, thanks, man. Good talking to you.
Thanks.
All right, the one and only Casey Alexander. They got things rolling. They always do, man. They got 3 dudes averaging more than 16 points a game, and got a transfer from Vanderbilt. And, this kid, they got a lot of good players. That's going to be something.
I see you trying to hype it up. I see how you work, man. I see how you work.
I'm not nervous at all. All right, not nervous about tomorrow. Jordan DeJani, our guest, but right now it's time for us to get out of here. It is time for 3HL.
So in the meantime.
In between time.
Peace.